Well, hello, and welcome back to that thing we like to call Curless Mania, where we talk all things pop, rock, and prog. And I'm very excited to have my good friend back on the channel, Mr. Logan Collins. Logan, how are you today?
I'm doing good, Tom. Thanks for having me on again, man. I was looking forward to coming on. It's been a little bit, so
Yeah.
yeah,
It's been a minute. It's
looking
been a minute.
looking forward to talking some '90s hard rock with you. So
Yes, absolutely, no doubt. It's funny. We were just talking about this before we hit record. Logan was he hit me up and said, "Hey, I'm listening to Stone Temple Pilots." And I had literally just had this sort of Stone Temple Pilots jag where I have these jags where I listen to artists for like, 2 weeks or
yep,
whatever.
yep,
And
same way, man, same
you
way.
know what I mean? Yeah, once you get into it, you start listening to every record. And I was in that with Stone Temple Pilots, and then he messaged me and said he was listening to Stone Temple Pilots, and I said, "Oh my God, you're kidding me!" So we said, "All right, the next episode we're doing STP." So, so that's what we're here to do today. We are going to do another amazing debuts episode with Stone Temple Pilots Core from 1992. Um, this was an album that sort of came out of nowhere in September of 92, and we'll get into it. I mean, the first impression that I had from this band was all the negative reviews I read about it. I mean,
Yeah, that,
there was so much negativity about this band when they first came out.
and I was, because I'm younger, so I didn't grow up with that kind of stigma around it. But I was reading some of the reviews, and it was just crazy to me that I never really heard any of that kind of stuff that the reviewers were saying about this band, calling them Pearl Jam ripoffs or it's just crazy to me because
Yeah, jump.
I think this band's one of the most unique sounding bands of the '90s myself. They got a
Yeah,
really unique sound all their own to me in a way. So yeah, I
yeah.
just thought it was weird, going back and reading them reviews.
Yeah, there was a lot of like they jumping on the grunge bandwagon and they're just trying to sound like Pearl Jam and they're trying to sound like Nirvana. There's one song actually it's funny. And I think Scott Weiland was a chameleon of a vocalist. He could sound like a lot of different things, and that's kind of what made him
Yep,
great, you know.
100%. Yeah.
So because there's one song he sounds what tune is it where he sounds like Cobain on one track.
Might be Creep. I don't
Creep.
know
It's
if it is.
Creep. Yes,
Yeah.
Creep. He sounds just like Cobain on that track. It's like, oh my God. It's
Yep.
funny. People were talking about it sounding like Eddie Vedder. I'm like, he sounds a lot like Cobain on that track.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a couple tunes where you kind of, like you're saying, you got that chameleon thing going, which reminds us, of artists we talked about earlier. David Bowie kind of had that same kind of thing, the musical chameleon. He could blend into anything. I think
right.
Scott's kind of that way too with these songs. Because when I was
Absolutely.
younger, I thought they had two different vocalists, to be honest with you, for a while.
Oh, that's
Because Scott just,
interesting.
yeah, Scott, like you listen to Sex Type Thing and then you listen to something like Creep, it doesn't sound like the same guy.
No,
So, yeah.
no. Yeah, he
Yeah.
can really dig in and do the whole I am. It's like, and then he can kind of do this really melodic, sort of higher register thing too.
Yep.
So that's interesting that you thought maybe there were two singers at first. That's interesting.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, no, I really, when I go back to Stone Temple Pilots, I always think of this sort of, I don't know, I always call them like meat and potatoes rock. But done in a really excellent, I don't know I don't know where I'm
It
going with
doesn't.
this.
It's not generic sounding,
It's not
right? I
generic,
mean,
right?
they make
Right.
it like I was kind of saying. They have their own unique style, and they just make it work. In the context of these songs. I
Hmm.
feel like so.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. They do this really kind of straight ahead basic rock thing, but they also have lots of different tones and lots of guitar layering and different harmonies. And I love that rhythm section of Eric and Robert. It's just like they
Yep.
are just so tight and so nailing
Robert
it. Oh,
and Robert's one of the most underrated bass players, probably of the '90s for sure. I mean, and you look at the writing credits. This guy wrote a lot of this music too,
yeah, he
and
wrote a lot
some of
of
the
it.
lyrics.
Yes,
So yeah.
exactly. So what are your okay? Well, really quick, I'm gonna do a quick rundown, and then we'll get into your impressions of the record. So it was released on Atlantic Records on September 29th, 1992, recorded in Los Angeles with Brendan O'Brien. And that might have also been another thing why he was getting compared to all these other bands, because Brendan O'Brien was recording these Pearl Jam and all these other bands.
Brendan O'Brien, right, was like the Mutt Lange of the '90s, right? I mean, he worked with
Totally.
everybody,
Totally,
basically.
absolutely, it completely.
Yep.
And the singles were Sex Type Thing, Wicked Garden, Creep, and Plush. And again, we already mentioned that they got, when it first came out, it got a lot of negative reviews, talking about bandwagon jumping on the grunge thing, because grunge had really exploded. Think about it. It exploded in 91 with Nevermind and 10, and all these huge albums came out in
Yeah,
91.
so they're already a year behind all
So
that,
they're
right?
sort of a
So,
year behind, and everyone was like, "Oh, they're just copying what's popular right now." So,
oh, but I will mention right now, Tom, there is demos. They were called Mighty Joe Young in like '89 to '90. That was their
mhm.
name. They had to change it because there was a blues guy named Mighty Joe Young, and I guess they changed the name because of I think Scott liked Richard Petty, the race car driver, and he
Mhm.
always used STP products, so he always seen that STP, and that's where you got the
Yes.
name. He just changed it to Stone Temple Pilots. But there's demos on YouTube, so the people watching, they should check out them demos because they're doing like Wicked Garden and stuff in '90.
Oh,
So,
okay. Yeah, see,
and
there you go.
it doesn't sound very much different than it does on here. I mean, I'm sure it's produced better, but it's just interesting how people, the critics probably didn't know all this stuff then, but
Right.
you think about it now, thinking back at it, they're kind of one of the earlier bands to do this kind of style, really, if you
Right.
think about it.
They were
So,
they were making this record in 1990. Yeah, and recording and
yep.
writing during, yeah, absolutely. So there wasn't any bandwagon jumping really. It just seemed like it because it's
Yeah.
when it was released.
Mhm.
Um so yeah, but I always thought that was kind of unfair, and I think that what's history has proven that this album is amazing. I mean, it's stood the test of time in my opinion.
One
Um
of them one of them albums you just put on and you don't skip anything,
Absolutely. You
you
can play
know,
it all the way
all the way
through.
through, man.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt. No, it's so true, so true.
And that's the testament right there to a great album.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No, I agree with you. There's no skip tracks. There's nothing. There's nothing where you go, "Oh, I need to skip this." In fact,
no.
one of my favorite, two of my favorite tracks are at the end. "Cracker Man" and "Where the River Goes" is like, oh my
Oh,
God,
man.
you know?
You wanna
Um,
you wanna hit the reverse on that, every time. You don't wanna skip them.
oh my
Play
God.
them again.
Yeah, I mean, just when Stone Temple Pilots rocks, they just rock so well. Like I don't know, I'm not very articulate in this video, but you know what I mean. Like it's just like things like Cracker Man and uh like Dead and Bloated. I mean, when they rock out, it's
Um,
just like you're like, oh come on, give me more. Like I want more of that. You know?
yeah, and this is really their, like you were saying, Meat and Potatoes hard rock album. This is probably the one before they started experimenting with stuff and getting
Hmm.
a little different with arrangements and things. And there's a little bit of that on here, but this is like the most straightforward album they did. So,
Yeah, it scratches
yeah,
that itch. It scratches that that meat and
100%, man.
potatoes rack itch, you know. Um, but what's your impression of this record? I mean, what's your general overall impression? I mean, you said it's one of your favorites of the 90s.
Yeah, man. It always has been, ever since I was younger. I used to carry around a Walkman a lot, like a little Sony Walkman when I was going to school. And on the bus rides I used to take, they were pretty long bus rides. So, how long is this album? Like 40, it's 53 minutes, so it's like 54 minutes.
Right.
So by the time, I got to school and then when I was going back home, I always had enough time to listen to this whole thing back to front, like every day or, however long.
Right.
Kind of like
Right.
what Tom was saying. I got into that funk of playing this album over and over and over again for a
Right.
couple weeks, when I
Yeah.
was younger. I mean, it's always been one of my favorite albums.
Yeah.
Especially in the '90s, man. I mean, I like we were saying, there's just nothing to complain about on it, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
The production's great. Brendan O'Brien does a great job with the guys. Yeah, and I mean the songwriting's there. And something I want to mention too, I did read some interviews from back then. Scott and Eric and Robert. I don't think Dean really contributed to this, but they were all really saying how they, all kind of contributed to make this record. How, they wanted to make it as good as it could possibly be,
Right.
because they,
Right.
back then you never know if you're going to have another record or not.
Right. No, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
And I think they succeeded big time with this. I mean, just giving it everything they could give creatively and musically, and I think it's just awesome, man. The product speaks for how much work they put into it, I feel like. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
I just think, it's a flawless album, man.
No, I agree. And I think Dean said, to your point, Dean said in one of the interviews that they wanted to make it like a Led Zeppelin record, that you didn't skip anything. You listened to the whole
Yeah.
album all the way through. And they
Yeah, and of
succeeded
course
with
they
that.
they were all influenced by like all the old classic rock bands we all love, So
Hmm.
Zeppelin, I hear Zeppelin and
Yeah, I hear a lot
Sabbath
of
and
Zeppelin
Floyd
in it.
and
Yeah.
yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's
And
awesome.
and we were talking before we hit, that Scott Weiland was a big Bowie fan, and he mentioned Bowie like three different times in interviews I watched. So he obviously Bowie was a huge guy for him.
I get a lot of Bowie from him, and I get a lot of Jim Morrison sometimes, and just his
Yeah.
vocal delivery. And
Yeah.
I could see him like when the Doors got back together, he could have been one of the guys to do that. I feel like. So
Right. He had the
yeah,
chops.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you love the Doors, man. But yeah,
Yeah, he definitely had the
yep.
chops. And he does. I think he's the guy that's throwing in some of the weird, like you can tell there's somebody throwing curves in there on occasion, like for example, Wet My Bed, like it's kind of a weird track, but but it kind of works in the
Oh
record.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And it's kind of weird and strange and a curveball, and it's
Yeah,
like what,
anybody else doing that, Tom, you would probably skip it every time, right? But like
right.
I have to listen to that going into Cracker Man every time.
Oh, of
That's just the
course.
way that's just the way I am,
Of
because it's
course.
got
Of
that
course.
studio banner and then it, hits
Yeah,
into
yeah. Don't
Cracker
you hear
Man.
someone say like, "Oh, that's enough" or something when at the
Yeah,
end or
yeah. And
something
they're
in the
like, "What
background?
now?" And then they go right into yeah. It's
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah,
man.
yeah. And all of a sudden,
But
it's like,
that riff, man.
oh my God.
But yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you're ready to go into the tracks, we can start talking about the tracks if you want to do it like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Or
Let's just do it. Let's head into Dead
cool.
Bloated, where the first thing you hear is this sort of distorted vocal coming in,
Yep.
and
And
it's yeah.
you know the whole story of that, right? How he got that vocal effect.
Was it through a
Well,
what
I he does it. I know he does it live because he does it through a microphone, right, or a
right
megaphone kind of thing.
megaphone? Right, right.
I always heard he actually is singing through Dean's pickup on his Les Paul,
Oh,
which is
I think
kind of
that's
crazy.
correct. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So he's
pretty
getting that kind of weird vocal tone out of that.
pretty
Nothing else sounds
impressive.
like that really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you'd have to really like belt into that thing to get
You got to
the
really
sound to
scream
be
into
there.
that thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but,
Absolutely.
like you were saying, that's the first song on the first album, and the first thing you hear is Scott, man, and he's
Yeah.
already commanding, the second you put this album on and you hear him, you're already intrigued about what's gonna come
You're hooked
next
pretty
on the record.
quickly. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just love his vocal delivery right there, and then the whole band comes in, and, I know we were talking about this before, I think there's a lot of Sabbath influence on a song like this, It's in drop
Right.
D. So it has like a very Masters of Reality feel. Like I could see this being on Masters of Reality or something. Just that
That's
riff,
interesting. I
man.
never thought of that, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Well, and a thing about that too is I know a lot of these songs Robert's kind of doing his own thing with the bass. On this one, he's just following what Dean's doing. So they kind of have that Geezer and Tony kind of connection there in a way,
Right. Yeah.
because they're both playing the same kind of licks. But yeah, I just love it. Everything about it. All of Scott's lyrics are very kind of cryptic, and it's kind of hard to tell what he's talking about. Like a lot of
Right.
'90s bands were like that. But
Yeah.
I always assume this one. He says, "I run through the world waiting for tomorrow." Kind of feels like it's live for today type thing. Like don't
Yeah.
waste
Right.
your time before you're dead and bloated. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just
That
what
makes
I always
sense.
kind of got out of it. And I love the instrumental passages in it. And there's not really a solo in it, but just when it gets really heavy with the drums. I mean, Eric's an awesome drummer too, man.
He is. Oh my God,
Really,
he's so good.
yeah,
Yeah.
he really leads like you were saying, the rhythm section on this is just amazing. The stuff they come up with.
He's a heavy
But yeah, I
hitter.
just
Yeah.
love that track, man. I mean, 5 minutes and 10 seconds, and they introduce themselves in a major way on your first song on your first album. You know.
Yeah, and it just sonically sounds so good. Those really thick guitars. I mean, just that and it's just so thick and it's so, to your point, very Sabbathy. With
Yeah.
that, with it's very like this one riff kind of hit going over and over again. And then,
Well, and
you know,
me and you were both guitar guys, so I mean, you
right.
hear stuff like this, it makes you want to go learn how to play that, right?
Oh,
I mean, every time
absolutely.
I hear that, man, it's just, oh, I love it, man.
No, it's great. It's a great riff. It's a great riff. And then, like to your point, in that middle section, that whole "I run through the world thinking about tomorrow," and it's just it's very as I mean, like you said, first song, first album. It's like their stamp. It's like that's very STP from the word go, and that's sort of the template that you get. And then we
Yeah,
head into Sex Type Thing, which is the first single. I believe it was the first single, and this one kind of got some controversy because people thought he was talking about, they didn't understand. They thought it was taking it literally, that this was
hmm
some guy that wanted to rape somebody. Um,
yeah,
and it
yeah. It's
was
more like the dangers of kind of date rape and stuff like that. And
right,
I think Scott, if you watch some videos of Scott, I'm sure you probably know Tom. He used to come out like in a dress when they would play
right.
this song. So he's
Yes.
kind of like screwing with, I just think, this song is a genius kind of song, but a lot of people didn't understand it, like you were saying, because they're
Mhm.
taking it too literal. Like they're thinking
Right.
Scott's like saying that seriously. He's
Yeah.
making fun of like all the macho guys who were like that. And I kind of think he's making fun of a lot of the rock star kind of people back in the day, because
Right.
I'm sure a lot of them thought like that, like the main character in the song thinks, that
Right.
he's just, you know, he's a man and he's going to get what he wants. And just kind
Yeah.
of, it's kind of messed up. And, Scott kind of tried to highlight that kind of thing. I always
Yeah.
thought that was interesting, bold for a first single too,
Yeah. Very
a song
bold.
like that,
Yeah.
but yeah, kind of musically wise though. I mean, it's just like how we were talking about Dead and Bloated. It just rocks, man. I mean,
Oh
it's
God.
more up tempo, 100%, but it's got that descending riff I love, right off the gate, um, yeah, everything about it. I just love what Dean's doing too, and that I can't remember how you do it. It's like it's kind of like harmonic kind of things, isn't it? Like in that
Yeah.
before they go into the chorus, he's kind of
It's
doing like this harmonic kind of thing. It
it's
just
almost
sounds
like a
killer.
it's almost like a harmonic pick slide of sorts, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it's
Um,
cool, man. I always loved that sound. I was like, how is he doing that? I had to learn how to do
yeah.
it.
Yeah, he's doing some cool stuff in that song. There's no doubt that he is playing out of his mind. Dean is like on fire on that on this track.
Yeah, that one just like goes and goes, and it kind of goes with what's Scott's like, here I come, I come, I come, I come, because it
Yeah.
like keeps building and building till the end, and
Yeah.
it just like crashes out at the end, man.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty,
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome. I mean, I've loved it ever since I first heard it, man.
Great. It's
And I
such a
think that
driving
was
song, you know.
the song a lot of people heard first, was a Sex Type Thing, because they
I
made a
yeah.
video for it, right? And
Yeah, that was their first single, first video. Yeah, I mean, so it was a lot of people's first impression of the band, you
yeah,
know. And I just remember
awesome.
hearing when I first heard it, I thought, "Who is this? Like, this is a really rocking song. Like, who is this? I kind of dig this, you know."
Yeah,
So I liked it pretty
yeah,
quickly. I thought it was pretty cool. Like you said, that
pretty.
descending riff, that
Yeah.
and it just yeah, it's just it rocks. It rocks.
Yeah, borrows from like Dazed and Confused is just a little faster, really, right? Because Dazed
Yeah.
and Confused is like there, 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 right? It just makes it
Yeah.
a little bit quicker, in tempo and stuff.
Right.
So
Right.
it's
Again,
awesome, man.
touching base on all those classic bands, Sabbath, Zeppelin, you name it. Um, so yeah, but then we head into Wicked Garden, which is one of my favorite songs on the record. I love Wicked Garden. What's your take on
Yep.
this song?
Well, before I get into that, just think about those three songs in a row, man. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
every time I listen to this thing, it's like I get chills every time I play it. When I get to
Yeah.
the Wicked Garden, because I'm
Oh,
just the sequencing on this thing's just perfect to me.
it is.
Where
It's very
it's
good.
like the first Cars album, or Led Zeppelin 4. It's up there with those kind of things. Which, like you were saying, Dean was kind of wanting that, so I'm sure that had influence there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Wicked
Yeah.
Garden's awesome, man.
Yeah.
another showcase for Eric there at the start with them little breaks. You know, he's like doing all these fills and stuff, which is
Right.
awesome. And
Yeah.
then it goes into that chugging riff, man. I love it. You
Oh,
know, like
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
and then you got that you know, overdubbed what like it's playing one chord. You know, just add.
Yes.
I love how it's like different too. It adds to the diversity of the song because you
He's
got this
got that
heavy
like
riff and then
clean,
you got that
clean chiming guitar
yeah.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I love
Yep.
that. I love how they combine them 2 things.
Oh,
Um,
so cool.
but yeah, it's always been one of my favorites too. I love that song. And I love how they like stop, you know, like they did stop twice in the song in the
Yes.
chorus. Yeah. And you
Right.
don't expect it the second time, you know, you think they wouldn't do it a second time and they do it again. And then it goes
Yes.
back into that struggling riff, man. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So
It's
cool.
awesome.
The arrangement is more complicated than you think. Like when to your point, when you listen to it, it's way more complicated than you would imagine.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Scott's vocal, man.
it's
That's
Scott's
probably
vocal. Oh, this
that's
vocal,
one of his best
oh,
vocals, man,
so
you
good.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to run through your wicked garden. I mean, but then he does all his high stuff too. It's really cool. So
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's kind of balancing out everything he can do, I feel like, in this song, you know? He's got the high
Yeah.
parts and the low parts, and, there's great harmonies too, I haven't mentioned this yet. There's great harmonies on this song from the
Right.
band.
Yes.
Robert
Yep.
Dean during that chorus. And that chorus, Tom, I feel like that's probably really tricky to play when they're playing it live because it's I don't know, it's weird the way they it's like off time a little bit, like the
Right.
riff. Really
Right.
weird.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, it's again, it's more it's deceptively complex. It's one of those songs
Yeah.
you'll really think about playing it live. We'd be like, wow, there's a lot to remember on this track.
Yeah, see, that kinda goes back to what you were saying, like, you couldn't really think of the way to describe them. I mean, just listen
Right.
to a song like Wicked Garden, I mean, that's totally not generic or, you know, run-of-the-mill
No,
rock, you know? It's just
no.
really hard to that would take you a few times to really get the groove of it, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I
Yeah.
always loved them first 3 tunes, man, in a row like that. I
Oh,
mean
they're so great. They're all of them are fantastic. And then we keep going with No Memory into Sin, which No Memory is like a very basic, not a basic, but just very quick sort of
Yeah.
instrumental.
Yeah, it's just a Dean, instrumental. I will mention Robert gets some fretless work on that song, which I always love that. Kinda
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like, you know, you gotta listen to No Memory into Sin because they go together, you know, really.
Hmm.
Because that I don't think Sin even really ends, you know? It kinda just sets you up for or, I mean, No Memory doesn't really end. It just sets you up into
It
Sin.
siegs right into
So,
Sin. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And that
Yep.
Sin is another banger for me. It's another great song.
Yep.
I mean, again, we're gonna repeat ourselves because there's really no weak material on this record. But
Yeah.
Sin is sort of a deep track, sort of a dark horse deep track for me. What do you think of it?
Yeah, yeah, like, when I
Yeah.
was younger getting into this band, you always heard I mean, I even heard Dead and Bloated on the radio. I heard the first 3 tunes, Creep and Plush, right? So I heard 5 tunes from the radio when I was younger.
Hmm.
Um, and when I was getting into the album, you know, No Memory was cool, I thought, and then how it just punches you in with Sin, man.
Yeah.
Sin's always been one of my favorites. It's kind of a lengthier tune, 6 minutes about. Um, and yeah, it's just really creepy. You know, it has a creepy vibe to it. I thought,
Yeah.
you know, I've
Yeah.
always kind of thought that it's kind of got. And Dean's playing like this suspended chord, like it kind of has that clean tone, like we were talking about.
Yes.
It's kind of weird though. It's like clean, but it's like distorted at the same time. It's weird to
Hmm.
describe that tone he has, you know,
Right.
on that main chord they play throughout that track, at least at the start, you know.
Right.
You know.
Yes. Right.
But yeah, it's just awesome. And then it's kind of built like Wicked Garden, really, because then it goes into like Scott's vocal on that track.
Yep.
And I read Scott wrote that one actually about Robert's ex or something. So
Oh,
I don't
really?
know
Okay.
what
Okay.
that's supposed to say.
Huh.
But I always kind of thought it was about drinking because there's certain lines in it. See if I can get it real quick. He says, "Holy water clouds my thinking, sinking low now, keep on drinking." And then the chorus is, you know, down you go, suffer long, down you go, sin make me strong.
Right.
So it
Right.
kind of it feels like it's a little bit of both to me, you know. Maybe a play on words a little bit, sin and gin, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
yeah, I
really
love
feel
that
like
one.
Yeah, I really feel like Scott nailed the melody on this, and that whole the chord, the down you go, that is
Oh
just
man.
killer. That
Yeah.
is killer, Scott Weiland.
Yeah. And
Um,
that's like one of the first tracks where Dean has like a lead. I really
right,
love his lead in that song, you know.
right.
And there's like a little break in there too, right? Like 4 minutes in, they do this kind of tribal kind of drumming kind of thing, and
Yeah, is that the
they
shadow or still to take
yeah,
the shadow? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yep, yep. And it's kind of got that acoustic guitar tone. I think that reminds me of Zeppelin a little bit too, right?
Yeah, he's playing very Zeppelin-y chords in that
Sounds like
part.
something
Yeah.
off Three or something, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
totally. That's exactly right. Sounds like Friends or something, you know,
Yep.
or Gallows Pole or something like that. It's no, I'm with you. And Dean is playing some great chords, and like you had mentioned, some the main riff has some like off these chords are like I don't know what chords he's playing, but I'd love to that's another one I kind of need to learn. Like I need to figure out what
See,
those chords are.
that's another thing about this band that makes them unique to me, Tom. I mean, they just don't use the typical standard chords all the time, you know? I mean, it's not
Right.
like A and D and G all the time. They're
No, it's
doing like
not.
suspended chords and seventh
A lot of
chords and
sus, a lot of
yeah, it's crazy.
yeah. Absolutely. No, it's really, really
Yeah.
cool.
It's
Yeah.
awesome though, man.
No, it's great. And this is what makes it so amazing. This is the things that make this record so great. So then what do you think of Naked Sunday? I mean, what's your
Um,
take on that one?
so that was one when I was getting ready when we were talking about doing this, that was kind of one I forgot about, to be honest with
Mhm.
you. But
Right.
yeah, getting back into it, man, it's a solid track, I feel like. Starts with them what are they, phaser drums? Like Eric's playing a little bit of phaser kind of thing going on.
Yes.
And then it
Right.
cuts into the song, and I don't know if you feel it like the same way I do about it. It kind of has like a funk thing going. Like I feel like it's a lost James Brown song or
Yeah,
something,
that's sort of
you
like
know?
down, 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 down.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
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 And I love it. I mean, the energy is just awesome all the way through it, you know. It's got
Yeah.
them vocalization things, you know. Um, what does he do? Ah, oh, something like
Yes.
that,
Yep.
which is awesome, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's like kind of about organized religion kind of thing. So it's
Hmm.
kind of a point. I think it's kind of a little bit to do with like the album covers because it's supposed to be like Eve, you know,
Right
there
with the
on the
apple.
cover.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's kinda got a little bit to do with that, and everybody was doing, like, a televangelist song around this time period. So, it kinda has that kind of vibe to it. I know Scott and there's a part where it's pretty funny too. Scott, like, acts like he's a preacher.
Yeah, he does the whole for an eye, tooth for
Yeah,
tooth. Yeah.
yeah, wherever that's at. I
Yep.
don't even think it's in the wow, they didn't put it in there. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not in there, but, yeah, I think it's just a cool kinda faster paced tune, you know? Kinda has a funk vibe to it. But yeah, I think it's memorable, you know, after listening to it a few times. That was one I couldn't really remember how it sounded like, but going back into it, I was like, yeah, that's a cool tune, man.
No, it's a good one. It's a good rocker. And then it heads into Creep, which is we talked about earlier is kind of very Nirvana like.
Oh yeah.
It's got that sort of I don't know what Nirvana song it reminds me of, but it's like a mellow Nirvana song.
It could be
Uh,
something like something in the way or, you know,
yeah, something like
maybe a
that.
little bit of that, you know.
Yeah.
Um yeah, it's kind of just like an ode to loneliness, really. I mean, if you look at the lyrics, it's a lot of take time with a wounded hand because he likes to heal. Probably talking about religion there a little bit, you know. Half the man I used to be, stuff like that. There's a lot
Yeah.
of a lot of downbeat, depressing kind of lyrics, but I mean, I've always loved that song, man.
But
It's got
that's
a
a
great,
great chorus,
you
though.
know.
That take time with a wounded hand.
Oh
That's a
man.
great chorus, man.
Well, and that's the best part about it, right? Because they give you that, and you think that's going to be it, and then they give you this
Then
chord
it goes into
progression with
half
that.
the man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome, man. Love that
Yeah.
song. Yep,
I mean, he could write, man. He's a good writer.
yep, yeah, because he's that's the one he co-wrote with Scott, right? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and he wrote the music too. So
He
yeah,
wrote the
that's
music.
cool, man.
Yeah. So it's just like, that's a cool, you're absolutely, I keep forgetting that it's almost like a two-part chorus, you
There's a
know?
lot of that with, even I think if we go further on with STP, there's a lot of that later on too. They do a lot
Yes.
of they trick you to thinking that this is the chorus and then there's another thing, right
Right.
after it. So a
Right.
little bit like two courses in one, man. But yeah, Creep's
Yes.
awesome, man.
No, absolutely, absolutely. So then we move into Piece of Pie. Uh,
Yeah, that's a I think that's a great tune, man.
yeah, yeah.
Really back to the heavy rock, I feel like, of like Dead and Bloated kind of thing. Um, Kind of has like the vocalization thing of Naked Sunday. Scott's kind of doing that on this one. I had to look this one up because I never really understood what it was about. What I figured out of this one, it's kind of like a Rooster situation, like Alice in Chains. It's kind
Hmm.
of about this war veteran that comes home. Um, yeah, he says, I broke the bread line, nobody knows. I walked the front line, still got far to go. Um, Yet staring me down, wearing a crown of apathy. I'm standing around dressed like a clown, don't know my name, you know where to find me. And he like mentions he kills the man child. I think it's a lot to do with like Vietnam, like because the veterans who came home, pretty much got treated like dirt,
Yeah,
for a lot of, a lack of a better word, for most of them, and I feel like that kind of, it's like a sarcastic piece of pie. Like this is your life now. That's your reward for serving the country. You get treated like dirt pretty much. I mean, that's
yeah.
basically what the lyric is about. But yeah, that's just a heavy tune, man.
Oh, it
Um,
is. It's that
yeah,
slow, heavy riff rock thing again that they do so well.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, and the bass is very like pumping all the way throughout this track. I thought that's one of Robert's best tunes there.
I always
Um,
love when he's just I drink the water. I
yeah.
just I love that so great.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
He has so many good vocal hooks on this album.
Yeah, yeah, they're everywhere. See, and I
Yeah,
think that's part of where he's getting like from Bowie or from Morrison, because these guys did stuff like that. Because like,
right.
you wouldn't like, like Morrison saying like a yeah or something, you wouldn't really
Mhm.
like say that, all the time. But like
Right.
every time you hear a Doors song, you're gonna say that yeah whenever he says it,
Exactly.
you
When it
know.
comes, you're
So
right. You're waiting for it. Yes, exactly.
yeah, and
Absolutely.
same way with Scott, man. Anytime Scott does stuff like that, the little
Yeah.
vocal inflections.
Just the way he sings it, it's so great. I mean, and
Oh
then
yeah,
then we move on to Plush, which was the song that really kind of got them. That this was the Pearl Jam song that everyone thought sounded just like Pearl Jam, and it was a Pearl Jam ripoff, and because he does that whole feeling, it's very
yeah.
Vetterish, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it's still a great song. I mean, it's okay. It sounds a little like Pearl Jam, but I mean, so what? Like, it's still a great song.
Yeah, no, 100%. And yeah, I think we and you were talking about this one before we did this show. I mentioned this that they actually thought this was going to be a hit. Like they knew they had something with this song,
Right,
and Atlantic knew it too. And Atlantic wanted to push this as the first single. Um, and really, Atlantic didn't interfere with much of this record. Like they let them do what they wanted to do, and them and Brendan O'Brien really controlled the process. But they
right.
really wanted that to be the first single. Um, but that didn't end up happening because they pushed Sex Type Thing instead, and they kind of did that on purpose because they didn't want Plush to like be the first song on the record and end up being the only one people would have gravitated towards. Which I mean, you never know because singles really ruled the name of the game back then. I mean, if they put Plush out and then they put Sex Type Thing, I don't know. That would
Yes,
have maybe it would
yes,
have been a whole different story. Really, this might have been like an underlooked album instead of a
right.
multi-platinum seller. But yeah, Plush is a great tune, man. Analogy kind of lyrics are about. It's kind of based on a real life thing, based on a real life kidnapping, and unfortunately, this girl lost her life. But it kind of Scott like acts like it's an analogy for like a relationship breaking down too. So it's got a little bit of both kind of things going in between it. So it's pretty interesting. Um, but
Yep.
yeah, there's great vocal hooks all over it, and I mean, it's just a great tune.
Yeah. Once again, another out or song filled with vocal hooks that are very
Oh yeah.
memorable.
And this is
Um,
one too, right? There's kind of two choruses, because there's the
again,
I'm feeling, right?
right.
And
Yeah.
then where are you
Where are you
going from
going
tomorrow?
tomorrow? Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
man,
It's
man.
no, you're right. It's
Yep.
very, it's like they do these like pre-choruses that sound like choruses. Um,
Oh yeah,
it's pretty
yeah.
crazy. That's what makes them so great. So, um, then we go into the final two songs, Cracker Man, which is an absolute banger of a song. I just love this song. When I saw them
Yep.
live, they just massacred this song. It was so cool.
Yeah,
Um,
man. That's always been one of my favorite tunes. I
I
love
think I think
Cracker
they
Man.
opened with it. I think when they saw
Yeah,
that, they opened with it. Yeah.
I was gonna mention that. I think they opened with Cracker Man a lot on this tour for this album. Which yeah, it makes sense because that's just right out the gate punches you in the face with that riff, you
It's a
know.
punch in the gut. Yeah, it's just
Oh
such a
man.
rocker. It's such a like a heavy rocker, and it's so good.
Yep.
That
And
that
I love
roll me, got to get away, gotta get away. I mean,
yeah,
just
and that
oh,
part, right? It sounds like almost two different vocalists there, doesn't it? You know, because
right,
Scott's kind of doing his different vocal there. You know, I'm
right,
sure that had to be a pain to do live because he's doing like these lower parts and he's doing this like vocal inflection thing. You know,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
but yeah, I always love Cracker Man. I mean, that's just high energy rock and roll. You know, kind of. I think it's about like his drug, well, like a dealer kind of situation. Because Scott
right.
was relatively clean during this time period, actually. For you know, a lot of people probably think he just did drugs from
Like
the get go.
compared to later, yeah,
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 yeah, because he was doing some, I'm sure, around this time because he was made a song about this dealer and stuff in this tune. But um, yeah, it's just an awesome song, and I know it's kind of just a bunch of noise on this song, but when Dean does that lead, man, it's just awesome to me. It fits it perfect. He's just like bending them strings till
it's
like they're about to break, man.
it's a little
You know?
unhinged, but I love it. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It fits the song perfect too. You know, I mean, I wouldn't want anything else. You know, I
It,
wouldn't want a flashy solo over that.
it's
You
just
know?
so kinetic. It's such a kinetic song, and just push. It just pushes forward so forcefully. I just love it. Love
Yep.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
And
100%, man.
then we head into the last song, Where the River Goes, and I this is another highlight for me. This is like, you know an album's great when the last song hits you like this. From like, I love this track.
Yep.
So good. Such a great closer for the record. And that's my
Yep.
opinion. What do you think?
Well, I always thought it was kind of akin to a little bit When the Levee Breaks, right? You know, a
Yeah.
little bit of that. Got
Yeah.
that drum intro, got that heavy
Right.
blues riff. And I think he's using that Hendrix, what is it called? The E7 kind of chord. I know Hendrix used that chord a lot.
Yes, exactly.
I think Dean's using that in this song, and I love that riff, man. It's awesome, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it kind of goes through a bunch of changes. You think the riff's over, and it's like down, 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 down. It's like doing all
Yes.
kinds of different dissonant kind of things almost, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of two different tunes, kind of, because
It
it's
kind
got
of
that
feels
heavy
like
blues
two different
part.
songs put together. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it kind of goes softer there in the middle, and then it goes back up to the chorus and everything. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's some of Scott's best vocals too. You
Oh,
know,
his
the chorus.
vocals are
Uh,
fantastic on that track.
yeah,
Oh my God.
when that raise on goes because he says what goes right.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I mean,
Um,
put it this way, if you wanted to like tell someone about, hey, you got to hear this singer, I would put that song on. Like,
yeah, that's the one. I know it's you know, and some people probably would be a little scared of an 8.5 minute song. But to me, I mean, if you know the hit songs, you need to listen to the last two songs on this album first
yeah.
because
Yeah.
I mean they're just awesome. You know, Where the River Goes is you know an amazing song, and you know,
Absolutely.
it, I love because that one is kind of a universal thing. I think everybody can kind of get down with what he's talking about there because you know I think he's talking about life and where life goes. You know, after kind of situation, which is kind of cool. You know, something different for this album because he hasn't really talked about stuff like that. Um, and yeah, it's just a bunch of different analogies and kind of things. And I always loved the chorus. What does he say? I want to be as big as a mountain. I want to. Where is it at? I want to be as big as a mountain. I want to fly as high as the sun. I want to know what the rent's like in heaven. So it's
Yeah.
he's kind of throwing a little bit of a funny line in there, right?
Right.
Um, and I want to know where the river goes. I mean, just awesome, man. I love that chorus.
Amazing. Amazing.
But
So
yeah,
good.
great tune. Great ender, like you said. I mean,
Yeah. Incredible
I wouldn't
closer.
want it to end on anything else, right? I mean,
And it just it keeps going at the end. Like it is kind of long, but I love how it just keeps going at the end, and it's just I just love it. Yeah,
awesome song,
yeah.
man.
I don't want it to end. It's one of those songs you don't want to end. Um,
See, that's the thing about this album, right? The second that ends, you can go back and listen to Dead and Bloated again, and it just starts the cycle over again. you know?
yeah, this is
Oh
one of
man.
those records you could do it. You could just go back to the beginning again.
Yep.
No doubt.
100%.
Yeah. So I think that's a great way I mean, that's a great way to end it. I would say that's that to me says it all, that you could just go right back to the beginning again and play it again, because this is one of those records. It's just, and I think time has proven that it stood the test of time. People still listen to these
Oh yeah,
songs, you know?
this is
Um,
something that's gonna outlive the people who love this music. I mean, to
yeah.
me, I think out of the bands that came out in the '90s, this is gonna be one of them albums that you know people think about. I don't know, 2085 or
Hmm.
however long, they'll be thinking about this album.
Yeah. And when I listen to this album, I get a little bit, not to go down to this path too far, but when I listen to this record, I do feel a little tinge of sadness sometimes because of what happened to Scott. Um,
Yeah,
he was just such a force of nature on this album, as we're talking about, and just to see what happened to him, it was just sad. It was unfortunate, you know.
and it's crazy to see, because Scott went downhill really slow. It's not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
not like a Lane situation where it was just all at once and he's gone.
right,
You know,
right,
you
right.
could see Scott. I mean, even I love most of the other STP albums he's on, but even then, you can start to see him like almost deteriorating as a person.
Right,
Just
right.
it's just sad, man.
It's
Yeah,
like
he
a
couldn't
slow
ever
mo. It was
really.
more of a slow motion crash.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
he couldn't ever really stay clean, and it's unfortunate. But
He kept
yeah, we
trying
lost
to
a
get
great talent,
clean,
man.
right? He went to rehab
Yeah,
a couple times. He was trying. He just couldn't
yeah, he went to
shake
he
it.
went to rehab. I think on the tour for this album, I believe.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. So yeah. So real quick, we said we'd talk about my live experience. So I did see them live on this tour, and it was in July of '93 in Chicago, and they were with they toured with the Butthole Surfers and um, the Flaming Lips. And the
wow.
only band I remember from that show was Stone Temple Pilots. They were so good. They came out swinging, man. And like I said, they
Yeah.
started with Cracker Man, and it was just like whoosh, like I mean, just all of a sudden, and they just came out. All three of them, Robert, Dean, and Scott, were all front of the stage, like just like hanging out, like just like right there. And it was like, oh man, and it sounded so good, and it was so rocking, and I remember like just they played all of core basically. It was just that's what the set was, just core. And
Hmm.
as we're saying, all these songs are just fantastic, and they were just great live.
Oh
And
yeah.
and I remember Dean at the end of the show. I also have very clear memory of him at the end, like just grabbing his guitar, his Les Paul, like they finished the song, hit like the last chord or whatever. I know what song it was. Hit the last chord, and he just grabs his guitar and just goes like this and just drops it, and it just goes whoosh, and then he walks off, like he drops it and just walks casually off stage. And I was like, these guys are freaking rock stars, man. And Scott had the short cut with like dark orange hair,
uh,
and he was dancing around like he does hese weird dances, and he had the megaphone. He had the megaphone at one point, and they were just really good live band. They were very good. Yeah, it
awesome, man.
was a great
Yeah, it's
show.
great to hear.
Yeah, it was a really good show. And they just put in spades why they're so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh,
and I think that goes to show. I mean, I didn't mention this point, but I feel like Scott is one of the last real rock stars we had. You know,
yeah,
from that era at least. Somebody who everybody, you know, kind of idolized and looked up to, kind of thing.
yeah, yeah.
Because
And
that era is gone now. I mean,
it's kind of gone. Yeah, I don't know if it's ever coming back. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it will, but you're right. I mean, there was a lot of great frontmen at that time. I mean, like we talked about, all those grunge guys, Vedder, Staley, Cobain, Scott
yeah,
Weiland. I mean, there were a lot of them in the 90s that were really good. And
yep,
Billy Corgan and all those guys. Perry Farrell. There's a lot of great
yeah.
front guys, and but just like the art, the lot. It's like a lost art now, but I don't know. Maybe it'll come back.
We
But
can only hope, right?
that's another video, Logan. We'll do another video on that. Yeah. So I'd say that's it. I mean, I think we covered it. Classic debut, Core by Stone Temple Pilots. I mean, if you're not familiar with it, I mean, you got to
You
go.
got to get familiar
You
with
immediately get
it.
familiar. It's a great record. It really is. It's phenomenal. So that's it, people. I hope you let us know what your take is on Core. What do you guys think? What do you think of this record? Let us know. I read all the comments. Be curious to hear what people think of this album. So thank you very much, Logan. Thank you again for joining me. Really fun.
Thanks for having me on again, Tom, man. It's always fun, man. I appreciate
Oh,
being on here.
absolutely. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Um, so yeah, that's it. And please hit like and subscribe if you like what you see. It helps to fuel the channel. It gives gas to the car that is Curless Mania. So we appreciate any kind of engagement, liking and subscribing, whatever you want to do. But thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you next time on Curless Mania. See ya. Go listen to STP.